Imagine two friends who start their careers on the same day, in the same city, with similar dreams. The first friend earns a high salary and celebrates every raise with a bigger phone, a newer bike, a better apartment, and constant online shopping that feels harmless in the moment, but slowly builds invisible pressure. The second friend earns less, but pauses before every purchase, asking a simple question: will this make my life better tomorrow, or just more crowded today? 5 years later, the first friend owns more things, but feels trapped, checking their bank balance with anxiety at the end of every month, while the second friend owns fewer things, yet sleeps peacefully, with savings growing quietly in the background. This is not a story about income, it is a story about control, about understanding that every item you buy does not just take money once, it takes space, attention, maintenance, and future freedom. Most people think financial stability comes from earning more, but the real shift happens when you realize that stability comes from needing less. Every purchase has a hidden echo: the cost to store it, clean it, upgrade it, insure it, and even think about it. A cheap gadget used twice a year becomes extremely expensive per use, while a simple tool used daily becomes priceless. People who stay broke are not always reckless. They just keep upgrading out of boredom, replacing things that still work, chasing small dopamine hits that slowly turn into long-term obligations. Minimalist thinkers follow a different rule. If it still functions, it still serves, and boredom is not a valid reason to spend money. They also create friction for spending and ease for saving, removing saved cards from apps, waiting 24 hours before buying anything non-essential, and automating investments so saving happens before temptation appears. Over time, this simple system beats motivation and willpower because environment always wins against emotion. Another powerful shift is defining what enough looks like before lifestyle inflation begins. Because without a clear finish line, every raise becomes an excuse to spend more instead of a chance to build freedom. When you know the kind of home, car, and lifestyle that truly satisfy your needs, extra income stops feeding consumption and starts feeding optionality, the real measure of wealth. Optionality means the ability to quit a toxic job, take a break without panic, support family in emergencies, or chase a dream without begging for permission from your bank account. The person earning less, but spending far less, has more choices than the person earning more, but trapped in obligations. Minimalism with money is not about living poorly. It is about living deliberately, removing the silent drains that steal future security and replacing impulsive accumulation with intentional ownership. Each time you decline an unnecessary upgrade, delay a purchase, or choose value over novelty, you are quietly buying back pieces of your future freedom. Over years, this compounds into a powerful cycle where lower spending increases savings, higher savings create emotional security, and that security reduces the urge to spend for validation, building a life where money becomes a tool instead of a source of stress. In the end, the real question is not how much you earn, but how much of your life your expenses control. Because the people who always seem financially calm are not the ones with the biggest salaries. They are the ones who learn that peace comes from owning their choices rather than being owned by their possessions.